Rather large. Pretty substantial rewards in this session, yes. So, 1 second, let me just get my
Assuming we don't, fuck it up and get us all murdered.
Yeah. But you guys decided to go to the mountains, right? You decided to go to the mountains and
We
get
did.
your...
Meet the dwarves, the Dweorh.
And we were bringing...
the Dweorh, yes.
We're bringing Crusher.
Are you bringing the boy? Okay.
I mean, he was coming along with me partially so I could keep working with him while we were traveling, and
we'll see how long he goes with you for. Anyway,
we were bringing Gorthin.
Oh, you're bringing Gorthin. Okay, cool. So the four of you have left the Bowery, and you're heading into the mountains. But so you've actually you're going past the wall that showed Cassandra fighting the dragon, and there's the Feyerite spears sticking up out of the ground there as well, and you've got to walk past that to get to the mountains, and it's a fair old trek through the mountains, and there is at one stage you're coming to what looks like a rather large alcove in the rock. As more wind and more rain starts to pummel you, there's no snow, but there is a bit of snow underfoot, and you're actually getting quite high up now. You're like a couple of thousand feet in the air at this point, but there's no real way to fall down because you're not at the peaks. The actual ground is going on for quite a way all around you. But Gorthin does hold up a hand, and just for you all to just stop. And as he turns round to walk back to you, he just has a look on his face, and he starts like wringing down his garments, as what can only be described as corpses with baleful red eyes start crawling out of the snow. And you're only, say, 50 feet from where you were last time, where the Feyerite is. So, first of all, what provisions have you taken with you? Because that's going to be very, 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 very important as we're going into the session. So what have you taken with you? And please tell me what your armor is, and please tell me what your VP is.
So, I mean, I was definitely planning on bringing probably 10 to 12 men, just to have, so we're not just 4 dudes riding up to the Dweorh.
Let's call it 10.
Yeah, I was having a retinue, and probably a couple of archers and 8 shield wall dudes. Just to have something to look like we're actually people who know something about what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, how long was the journey? Because I figure I would want to bring twice as much as we need for the trip there.
It'll literally take you basically a day to get up here, so it's not going to take you that long. But it could be quite dangerous.
I mean, I'd bring a few days worth of provisions just in case, because it's mountains, we might get lost.
So your pack's pretty laden then. What's your armor?
I think it's currently still 9. I don't think we've had a chance to really buy any armor yet.
Okay, and your vitality points?
I'm at 12 now.
12, excellent. And Arden, your armor is?
So my armor is 4, and my vitality, my health is at 14.
Nice.
And I would have brought my winter. She would have brought her winter cloak, which packed snowshoes. Or I don't know if it would be snowshoes. She's not going to bring snowshoes. Winter cloak, definitely some food and water, provisions like that. Her bow, sword, all that usual stuff. And she would have also packed, her leather tent and just provisions. Yeah.
Nice. So, out of the snow, what are you going to do with Boy? Where's he going?
In general, if I was leading, I'd have him kind of back with Gorthin. Or just kind of keep him as centered as possible, as much to just keep him out of trouble.
Okay.
As anything, centered to the group.
Okay. So Gorthin pulls him to one side, and just idly he's playing with a fireball in one hand with his other hand. A few times he nearly takes the boy by the hand by the fireball hand, and just sort of no, you're the one, and pulls him back round behind you. And as the first of these corpses hurls itself into you, Androkles. So what are you wanting to do here? We're not doing initiative. We just want to see what you're going to do.
I mean, if these things are, if these things are clearly not like, well, they're attacking us. So I mean,
yeah.
Is there a cliff nearby that I can just try to throw it off, or are we pretty much centered on a path?
You're pretty much centered on the path. So if you throw it, you're gonna have to basically throw it as a baseball. Your hitter smacks a baseball.
Yeah, no, so I would try to just slam it to the ground, so I could get my axes out and get to work.
Okay, cool. Do a strength check for me. A might. Mighty might.
Quickly, if they're coming at us, can Arden use Hail of Barbs?
Of course you can.
So.
But I think
are you going to just order the men to get stuck in? Oh, nice. So you can actually pick up a few of them if you want to. So they're all coming at you in a wave as they're coming up from the snow. So you can.
If I can like throw a few of them at each other, just kind of like bowl them over.
Yeah, sure.
Like take Thor Ragnarok to get help.
Yep, I will let you do that as you're just hurling them into each other. They splinter and fall to the ground. These are Draugr, so these are unfortunate people who've been caught in the snow, or where the Falroken has got to them, and generally turn them. In fact, you're getting a bit of kinship with them because marked ones are basically Draugr who haven't been transformed all the way yet. So, there is a bit of lingering. This is what I could be if I get any more Falroken on me. This could definitely be what I could be. But yeah, you take out another 6 there. So you take out the one in below you, you smash it to the ground, then you hurl it into the 5 that are on rushing, or the 6 that are on rushing. So
I just pull up my axes and get to work.
Cool. Hail of Barbs then. Arden's gonna throw some arrows at them.
Wait. Limit 1 per weapon proficiency point you have in combat, and then it says
a lot at this point.
It says once per turn. So does that just mean per combat encounter?
Nope, it means once per turn.
Okay, so I can't do 8 of them. Okay.
Not in the same turn, but
What's that?
That's a hit.
Oh wait, do I? If I have more, then I will do.
Why don't you remind us what it does first, so we know what's going on?
Sorry. You may use Hail of Barbs and unlimited. Oh wait, sorry. If you have a speed of 5 or 5 points or above in the bow you are using, you may use Hail of Barbs an unlimited amount of times in a single turn. Sweet. Although you're still limited to using it the same amount of times as points you have in the bow you are using. And it's basically when you are charged by an enemy, you may take a complete combat round and fire your arrows into them. So can I just do 8 of those?
Sure. And explain what it does.
It just hits them like normal.
Okay.
That's it.
Every single charging enemy, I believe.
Okay. So you need to roll another 10 then, please.
Wait, but I only have 8 points.
It would hit each of them for each of the roll. Like one roll would hits each of them, I think. Because she's doing it 8 times, and each of the 8 hits every enemy, I think was the idea.
Yep.
That's all that the thing says. Yeah.
So I think, like the first one would be like a weak hit against everyone, the second would be a strong hit against everyone that's charging.
Let me just.
For me, all it says, it doesn't say that. So.
Do you want to copy it into the chat real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Is that the whole thing?
That's literally all that it says.
When you're charged by an enemy, you may take a complete combat round and fire arrows into them. That means each and every single enemy you're against, you can fire a complete combat round into them. That's what that means.
So shooting arrows, shooting it at everyone or one person?
So it depends, right? So there are 10 Draugr running towards you right now. Okay, you can either decide to do a complete combat round against all of them, one by one. So 2 attacks on one, 2 attacks on another, 2 attacks on one, 2 attacks on another, or you can choose to fire all of your arrows and pincushion one of them.
No, I'm gonna go for all of them.
Okay. So
out. Spread
one.
the love.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. Roll another 10.
You want to just roll 10d20 and then...
Yeah, just roll
is it
10d20.
8 each of them? So,
Roll 10 if I only have 8 in my weapon proficiency.
no, just for the number of people. It's about the number of people, not the number of attacks.
Okay. And then just add 8 to each of those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. Being big dead.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say all of them are dead. So as your men run up to finish the job, they basically just start throat cutting and just leaning down and bashing brains in and stuff. And Gorthin steps forward and just says, Draugr in the high places takes me back, and just starts incinerating them, just so they don't get back up, you know.
Call.
I'm gonna nod and then I'm gonna say, all right, form up around them, and I'm gonna gesture towards. I'm talking to the men to gesture towards, the boy and. I did set a name for him. I don't remember what it is.
Leander, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I assume we've had that discussion at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, Leander. So, and I assume other people have heard me decently. So, I just tell the men form up around Leander and board them once he's finished his work, and we'll continue forward.
Gorthin just calls him Anders, because that's
Good.
part of the probably part of the So, but like he seems very cold at this point, and as you strive through the mountains, like he looks like he's feeling it. He's feeling a lot of cold here. I've rolled for him, and his roll here. Yeah, so I've rolled. So he's definitely feeling the cold as you're moving on through the mountains. But off in the distance, you can see smoke, which can only mean one thing. Can only mean you're near Eredrin now. So.
Until we get there, Arden can lend him her winter cloak.
Okay.
For a bit.
Yeah. So I mean, like, Androkles is, kind of up front, just we're waiting for more fights. He's just keeping his axes out at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So eventually, you guys break out into what looks like a rather large mountainous area, over which you can actually see several peaks are carved into what look like tower formations. Okay.
Ooh, fancy.
And
awesome.
there is actually, for you can see the person with the mule there. The ground in front of them doesn't fall away. There's actually a bridge going towards this here. You see this? So there's actually a stone bridge going from here to here, which has several dwarven runes on it. So you're near the Dweorh at this point. And the weather is pretty much the same as well. It's pretty cold, but as you can see, there's a city built into the rock that goes on for quite a long while behind it. And I'm actually going to read for you a little tidbit here. Let me just. So, the great city of Eredrin, the home of the Dweorh, sits on a gargantuan low peak of the mighty Godbreaker mountain. So this is actually part of a larger mountain complex further off into the distance. This was once the home of the giants, titans in the tongues of old. Here they made their last stand against the gods within the Dragomachy. Here they held off the might of gods, whilst the judges won the war in other lands. Okay, so you can actually see the actual city there, and no one's barring your entry over the gate, over the bridge, and the doors are open on the other side as well. You can see there are many doors open with the smoke and other things billowing out. Doors are actually open. The Dweorh don't really fear anyone. Anyone can come and speak to them if they can make it up the mountain.
Does
So,
the
I
bridge
guess-
look pretty stable?
It's sort of dwarven make, so it's going nowhere. Yeah, you could march an army across that and you'd be all right.
So, it looks like we're pretty much clear of zombies.
Yes. I mean, it seems like you've been sensing them scattered about the mountains, but it's a natural thing. They're not there. You know what I mean? This isn't an unknown
They're
thing.
not attacking or anything.
No.
So, I mean, I think at this point, Androkles would, once we're on the bridge, he'd have his axes away, and kind of have him and Gorthan and Arden, I imagine, beating the front way. How wide is the bridge wide enough for us to just kind of?
You can go about 8 to 9 men abreast of each other.
So I mean, I figured like have the men kind of, make a column behind us, and it's only like 10 men, so like, like 3 groups of 3 or in 1 group of 4 kind of thing, and just have Gorthan and Leander, and the 4 of us kind of walking up,
Okay.
up ahead. But yeah, with my axe just put away at this point.
Okay. Let me just stop some music there. There we go. So, Arden, what are you up to? What are you doing?
I'd be exactly where Androkles just said I am.
Okay, cool. So, as you guys walk across the bridge, you can see that there's a far dip below you of around 1,000 feet on either side. Over the side, you actually see Leander looking over a few times, as boys are wont to do, and starts like pushing snow off so you can watch it fall off as he's walking across. And
I'm keeping an eye on him just in case. I'm just like ready to grab his collar and like pull him back if looks like he's going over.
No. He seems very, very, steady, and Gorthan's next to him with his walking stick anyway. And behind them, the men are walking. They seem pretty uneasy, but it might just be because of the colossal fortress in front of them that is carved into rock. And all of them have heard of Eredrin in the past. Never been here though. So there's a difference there.
Androkles is going to be very much standing up, straight and walking forward. And just
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
look like he's got like try to make them feel like there's nothing to worry about. He has his concerns, but he's not going to let them show, kind of thing.
Exactly. Arden is doing the same.
So, as you get to the other side, there are no Dweorh around. Are you actually going to approach the main gate? The main gate you can see?
Yeah. Is there any? Does it seem like there's anything wrong at the gate?
No.
Kind of...
No. Seems open.
Do we know in Dweorh culture, is it rude to just approach? Do we need to wait to be invited? Do we know?
You wouldn't know anything about Dweorh culture. There's no reason why your character would know anything about Dweorh culture.
I would ask Gorthan. That's actually part of the reason I brought him, was if he knew anything about it. Because, he's old as hell and he's got books and shit.
He just shrugs and says, Dweorh, I've met some nice fellows from the way I've come across them. No, not really. You just waltz up and knock on the door.
I will, do so, but not waltz, but come up with purpose and knock, and then take a couple steps back.
Okay, so as you walk up to the door, it is a massive brass edifice. It is around 55 feet high, around 30 feet wide, and as you knock on it, it's not hollow. It's actually, it seems like it's solid, absolutely solid. And on the front of it is a mural of a dwarf, a Dweorh, standing with his hammer over his shoulder, and next to him is what looks like a giant, so a much bigger figure, and the giant has the hand on the Dweorh's shoulder as the Dweorh's looking out over you. And as you knock on the door, a slit opens up in the door and opens, and you can hear a voice from within. It sounds like a female dwarf, and it says, "Who's out there?"
We've come from the Lothian Valley. We've come to.
It's from the what?
We've come from the valley below. We'd like to speak with your people, if that's all right.
You see, like, the wrinkled eyes, like, narrow, and then the slit closes, and you can almost imperceptibly hear from behind an argument going on, a hushed argument. You don't no idea how you're hearing it through the wall or through the door, but there we are. Finally, the slit opens up and he goes, "What's your name?"
Androkles Methodius, and these are my companions. Sorry, just out of character. I don't actually remember what Arden's last name is.
This is Arden of the Grailwood.
Yeah, just normal.
Okay. I feel like there isn't one, but
Like Geralt of Rivia, basically. There's no second name.
yeah. And then I'd let her introduce herself, and then I'd gesture towards.
So, say your name again.
Androkles Methodius.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the person on the other side goes. You can hear a question asked on the other side, and the woman says, "I don't know. He might have just tried to curse me. I don't know. I don't know why that. No. Say that again."
Androkles Methodius.
Jesus. She leans back and goes, "Don't sound like any name I've ever heard." And then she turns around again and goes, "Right, opening the door. Stand back, please."
We'll stand back. I'm like a little. This is not going the way Androkles expected. He's looking at Arden like a little confused, and like looking at Gorka as well. It's like, did I do something wrong?
So
Arden just shrugs.
as you stand back, you're expecting this mighty display of a door swinging open, into darkness. Instead, the door evaporates on the winds. So the winds of the mountain actually envelop the door and almost pull it apart into its component pieces and into dust, and then it blows away on the wind. And you see a Dweorh standing there on the other side, female. Stands about shoulder height for you, Androkles, so about the same size as you, Arden. Very thick set. And there is a Dweorh male standing beside her as well. And
Androkles is looking suitably impressed by this.
So
kind of like, holy cow.
Behind them you can see a vast hallway echoing off into the distance, with a ceiling that you can't see, but there are candles and other wax objects that are alight and are floating around, following people around as they're walking about. And the Dweorh turn to you and say, "What did you say your business was?" The man says,
"We wish to form a treaty with your people."
"All right, that sounds official." And he turns around and goes, "Better take him to the king then." And she goes. The woman says, "You know he hates it when you call him that." And the bloke just shrugs and goes, "Well, that's what he is. If he wants to wear a crown, I'm calling him a bloody king. All right, just go back and salt the meat." And then she runs away, and cursing under her breath. And he goes, "Right, follow me then."
Arden will follow. We'll all
follow. But yeah, Androkles is definitely like looking around, like, damn, this place is pretty awesome.
So, as you cross into the city, there's a gust of wind behind you, and the door materializes once again out of seemingly just dust that has caught on the wind. And inside, you can see there's a cavernous, odious place everywhere around you, and you can see there is water. It looks like silver that is glistening out of dwarven mouths carved into rock and things like that. And the Dweorh are generally standing around. A few of them are at forges, and many of them are trading with each other. Many of them are simply working at their art at a forge, or making ring mail, or all of them are doing something technical. They're all building something. All of them are. And as you are pulled into the main tower in the centre of the city, you can't even see that it's a tower. It's so large, and it's formed from one gargantuan piece of rock. It's like a pillar that goes straight down. They actually think you're entering into this large rock formation, but when you actually look up at it, it's actually a carved tower. And as you head on in there, there is a empty throne in the centre of this large cacophonous room. That doesn't seem to have. There's a few guards standing around, but there's no real presence of authority there. Until you're led off into a side room, where you can actually see there is a rather large Dweorh with blonde hair, sitting on a table, drinking some ale, and he has a crown next to him, and he just looks up at you, and he says, "What is it now, Boulder?" And he looks at all of you and goes, "Outsiders. And Balder says, "That's right, Chief. They were knocking on the door." And he's like, "Well, why did you let them in?" Well, this one had a funny name, and we thought it'd be good to introduce you. I don't know. They said they're from the valley, and that's where that dragon came from, wasn't it? And then the king, so to speak, nods, and he gestures to the table and says, "Take the weapons and leave us alone, if you would." And the dwarf comes over to you, Balder, apologetically, and holds out his hand.
I will hand him my axes.
Okay. As the axes hit his hand, they're far too big, but they shrink to his size almost immediately.
Just kind of like I was kind of quirking an eye at that, It's kind of interesting.
He just shrugs and says, "When you live as long as we do, things don't really amaze you anymore. Put it that way. It has the opposite effect on my and then moves along down the line to Arden.
I will nod at his nod appreciatively at his joke.
And Arden, do you give him your bow and stuff, or do you keep it all?
Arden hands over everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Well,
So-
what?
So yeah.
Your bow and your daggers.
So
She does not want to piss off the dwarves. She
Okay.
wants this to go well.
So he removes everyone's weapons and leaves, and the king just looks over and says, "You've brought a lot of people with you. Do you really need all those to talk to me?"
Well, we ran into some Draugr. Is that how you say it?
Ah,
On the
Draugr.
way.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Better be
Are you
safe than sorry.
two in charge?
Us and our 2 companions, who stayed behind to mind the keep.
Right. Sounds a bit lazy to me, but fair enough. And he turns around and says, "Well, if you wouldn't mind getting rid of the rest, I want to speak to the people in charge. I don't really want to speak to everyone."
I'm gonna nod towards our men so they can step out.
Should we keep Gorthin?
Actually, I would ask him, do you mind if our advisor and the boys stay? I'd like that to listen. I'd like him to listen as well.
He just shrugs.
And that, gesture for the men to leave.
Cool. So they leave. And okay, so he sits forward and actually stands up, and you can see this Dweorh is actually larger than you, Androkles. He's huge.
Yeah.
So he walks over to you and holds his hand out.
And I will clasp it in the fashion that seems appropriate. Is he like holding it out to grasp?
Yeah, just a forearm grip,
Yeah,
Just
I'd go for that.
yeah. So he shakes your hand and says, "I'm Gar. Call me King Under the Stone, but it's a bit of a weighty title. I don't really use it much."
I'm Androkles Methodios. They call us the Barons of the Bowery, but I have much the same feeling.
And you? He looks over to you, Arden.
Arden of the Grailwood.
Says, "Oh, yeah.
I've always heard of the craftsmanship of the dwarves, but never imagined anything like this. It's an honor to see it for myself.
Just a bit of stone. That's it, really. That's all we do. Is we make things. But we are quite jealous of what we hold dear these days. There's things afoot that I'm not entirely happy with in the world right now. But when you live as long as we do, you learn to keep your head down and get on with it." He looks at you, Androkles, and looks at your chest, and he says,
The mark isn't there anymore.
"Yeah, I know," but he looks at your chest, and he says, "It's quite a nasty burn mark."
The rhythm was there before.
He nods and says, "Well, if we're going to do this properly, I should probably be sitting on a throne or something. Follow me." And he walks past you into the main room, and then comes up onto the onto the throne. You can actually see that the throne is actually a more of a dragon. So it's actually the open mouth of a dragon that he's sitting in. And he just drapes one leg over it and says, he says, I can feel the touch of something on you, my boy. And he looks at you, Androkles. Says, or at least there's something lingering on you.
I've had a number of interesting encounters of late.
He said, before you say anything else, you should know that us Dweorh forged the chains that bind the sleeping god to the sea floor. Did you know that? He nods and says, we perfected the art of banishing him for good, but the plans of such a trap were lost long ago, deep within the mountain. And he points behind him with his thumb. But
I think there are those who would seek to undo your work.
we've been having the same dreams of late. Yes, yeah. The older holds in the mountain were abandoned against the terror, and after that we've generally kept to ourselves for the past couple of centuries.
Terror?
Right, yeah. It's a wingless dragon named Nidog. He gnaws at the heart of the mountain. Pure Faerite, though, the heart. But, yeah, we've not been able to get to it for quite a few centuries now. How did you remove the mark? He points towards your chest.
I didn't.
Who did?
You spoke of a dragon?
Oh.
Sorry, the dragon that we met was red, yes?
Yes.
Did it happen to be red?
As in the. Are you asking whether the dragon behind him is in the mountain is red?
No. Like earlier, he had spoken of a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like, when he was talking about the dragon earlier, I assumed he meant the dragon still flying around in the mountain.
No. Yeah. He clarifies and says, we have a wingless dragon in the mountain. He lives in the mountain. He never leaves.
There are two dragons out in the world at the moment. One an abomination created by the Falkir cultist, I guess would be the word. And another that was awoken from beneath the Dweorh.
At that, several guards around him sort of stiffen and look to each other, and Gar, just leans forward onto his forearms or on his knees, and says, "That dragon is Freinir. It's my uncle, ancient and proud. I could tell you the story of him if you have a mind. We Dweorh do like sharing stories."
I'd love to hear it, although I think I've learned some of it from the ruins I've come across, and I'm the name, so it's like, and how he fought, I can't remember the name of the Dweorh king or the Cassander.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, and how the two of them fought him.
He says, "Close. Now bring our friend some ale." And he gestures for the ale to be brought over. One of them slaps an ale into Leander's hands, and he just looks at you quizzically, like, "Should I drink this?" Let's have a look.
And I'm just gonna give him a little, just kind of pinch my fingers together, just a little bit,
Arden gives Leander a little wink.
Okay, so a dwarf standing next to him starts drinking it as well, and finishes. And as soon as he looks down, he sees that Leander's about to finish. He puts his finger under the glass and under the trencher and starts pushing it back, going, no, finish it, sort of thing. And Leander ends up finishing his drink, and it's gasping, and it's letting out this really large belch. And a few of the Dweorh around just go, they start laughing and nodding and nodding in approval. It's like, and then Gar says, "I believe they found a mascot."
Seems so, but before we tell you a story, that sorry, what was the name of the dragon again?
Nidog.
Can you put it in chat? Be easier.
Nidog, yeah. Yeah.
Nidog.
And if any of these, I'll explain later. Don't worry.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just how I am in names.
I didn't make these names up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no worries. Nidog is the one who, cleansed me of the previous mark.
He says, "Are you sure?"
Can only hope.
He says, "Our dragon has not left the mountain. We've been hearing him in the mountain for hundreds of years."
No, sorry. I mean, I was like
Our dragon, the red one.
Yeah, I would have specified about the red, because I did mention a second ago the red dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
What's that one called?
Frynir.
That's it. Can you put that in the chat?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Frynir.
Yeah. Frynir, cleanse me of my mark.
So he leans forward and says, "Well, Frynir is actually my uncle. He's my great uncle, my uncle." He said, but he leans forward and says, "He was an ancient Dweorh. He discovered dragotheosis. Do you know what that is?"
I would shake my head.
Into a dragon.
It is. This very thing the judges made use of, and are for long lost. Gives its proprietor a sense of immortality, or so they say. Unfortunately, once he discovered this, he was unable to turn back into a Dweorh and went insane. One day, Valens and Cassandra, two sons of Sarpedon, were to visit the homeland of their father, Sarpedon, in Albion, who was born in Kernau, just across the sea there. And Cassandra, accepting the challenge from Hreidmar, the king under stone, and my grandfather, to slay the dragon that had killed his son. Cassandra and the dragon battled for weeks in the high places before Cassandra finally slew the dragon. Upon death, he turned back into Frynir and begged Cassandra to bury him in his father's city, Eredrin. Cassandra carried the body back to the king and admonished him for his lies. He was blessed by the Dweorh, though, and named Siegfried for his mighty deed in slaying the dragon. Hreidmar buried the glowing corpse of his son in the base of the mountains and created a great keep above it, with Dweorh guards stationed there to watch over the body. The fortress crumbled in the centuries after until only the central keep remained, which I believe you are now squatting in. And he gives you like a wry smile.
That's true.
If Frynir has returned, he will be looking for his slayer, and his mind will be badly broken. He won't understand that Cassandra is long dead. He marched east with Valens to Cassandra, last we heard of him, his brother, to claim the Asunder Empire, but betrayed his brother and took the empire for himself. We'd stopped hearing all news of him afterwards. His heirs now rule with his title, the Crimson Prince, from what we've been hearing.
Dean, out of character, when when the dragon spoke to me, did I get did he seem clear-headed, or is that
That's up to you. That's up to you.
I mean, from what you said, he sounded fairly clear-headed, Androkles. So yeah.
Well, that's up to you. It's up to you. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what to think.
I'm saying that Androkles thought he sounded fairly clear-headed.
Okay, then that's great.
We did have a very short interaction, but yeah.
Yeah.
But also, when I told him that that Cassandra was long since gone, he seemed just kind of disappointed in it, but not like he didn't disbelieve me. So I think I think Androkles would actually say actually kind of relay that. Yeah. When he awoke, I I spoke to him, if only briefly,
Mm-hmm.
and he seemed fairly coherent. And I told him that his slayer had long since passed away, and he seemed to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I also told him of the abomination that the Valkyr cultists had raised.
He nods and says, if he's abroad in the world, trust me, his mind will be shattered after long years in seclusion down there. He'll destroy all of Albion if he can, unless someone can make him see reason. There is a stone in the pommel of a great axe embedded in the summit of Godbreaker Mountain. It's the axe from which the mountain gets its name, the Godbreaker. My ancestors made it. The stone in the pommel holds the blood of Hreidmar, Freyneir's father, and was placed there for safekeeping should the dragon ever return. We may be needing that in the coming months, I think.
What will that do?
That if you are able to show the gem to the dragon, it will stop and at least hear you out.
I think it's best that we keep this axe out. If not today, then soon.
He shrugs and says, the ways to the peak are blocked by Nidog, though. He calls the heart of the mountain his own. There's sometimes some people come here asking for favours of the Dweorh. I would ask you what you want from us, since you've come all this way.
Wow.
We are neighbours, after all.
Indeed. We came... we discovered Faerite in the hills. And we would like to open trade with you to help mine the Faerite for both of our benefit.
He nods. Anything else?
And that hopefully if it comes to war with the Valkyr, that you might help support us in that, and we can support you in your endeavors as well.
He nods and he seems reasonably pleasantly surprised, actually. So he says, I believe I can acquiesce to those terms if we have something in return.
Would you like in return?
Says,
Androkles is gonna kind of grin towards to Arden. It's like, I think we both know what that's going to be.
he says, when heroes come seeking the favour of the Dweorh, they must complete labours. Arthur did it. Sarpedon did it. If you want the help of the Dweorh, we wish you to slay Nidog. Retrieve the plans of the Rift Engine that we can use to banish the sleeping god, and then scale the mountain to claim Godbreaker. If you do this, we will enter a full alliance with your people, bound in blood, without reservation.
Can you tell us more about Nidog?
As he is a wingless beast, and for some reason the Dweorh can't even get anywhere near him without falling down in madness, crying, our ears bleeding. When we've tested it with others, though, they seem to not have any effects of that nature. He crawls within the heart of the mountain, and we can't get anywhere near our old forges, which is why we've not been able to outfit anyone or anything. If you perform this task for us, though, we will be your armourers, your personal armourers. We will only outfit your men. But he says, I think the thing that will be more applicable to you would be the Rift Engine. That is also cut off to us by Nidog. The Rift Engine plans are somewhere in the bowels of the mountain. It can be used to banish the sleeping god, to tear a hole in reality and pull him through. Likely our greatest achievement technologically. Lost to us, though. We never got to make it.
Where are the instructions?
Says there'll be. You'll have to look. It's been centuries since we've been able to get to the heart of the mountain. I don't know. They may not even exist anymore. They may have been burned.
Yes, we have a plan. I would turn towards and say, would you be able to, with what you have available, help outfit us for this fight a little better?
He leans forward and says, now you're speaking my language. And he says, I refuse to send you on a labour in my reign wearing whatever that is. And he sort of points to you and says, Sindri. And he calls over another dwarf, or Dweorh, who strides over. And he goes, my lord? He goes, outfit these two. And the best that you have. And he nods. Come with me.
Definitely one of those two.
So, when I say you're measured, what the dwarves do, they basically look at you, they glance at you once, and then just start making armor. Like they don't even look.
Lie,
You know.
I was kind of hoping for like dwarves standing on each other's shoulders to measure me.
No,
Okay.
no, they literally look at you once, and to actually make the armor, they're literally just pulling things down and wrapping things around. But a lot of the time, they're just selecting pieces of armor. Like one for you, Androkles, they select a whole set. They just select a whole set, and they whack it once with they look at you once, they whack it once with their hammer, and it's automatically the size that you are. It's literally like that size. And they hand over this piece of armor for you, and for Arden, they have this piece. Look in the Discord for me. They have this piece of armor for you.
Definitely gonna say like that's a clever trick.
He looks at you quizzically, like he says, "I didn't do it." Oh, you're right. Yes, clever. Yes.
Well, for us, for us, it takes a little bit more time to fit it to resize a piece of armor.
So I'll give you. Let's take a few-minute break. So I'm going to get a drink, and you can have a little look at the armor. And
Did that armor look like the picture that I sent you?
yes.
Oh, yes!
Well, I wrote the description, so it's.
Arden is very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Right, back in 1 minute.
She is getting rid of that hide cuirass immediately.
I'm always wearing an iron cuirass, which is nice. It's not this. Definitely not this.
This is awesome.
I'm going to punch a bitch. I'm going to punch him right in the face.
Because, Arden's armor is, it's pretty weak, and there really hasn't been a chance to get new stuff.
For a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's more our fault because we keep picking fights.
I know, but so this is awesome. I wonder if our men get any armor, too.
I don't think we're taking our men down into the cavern to fight a dragon. A shield wall would just end up being cooked. I think our speed is our best.
We should probably bring Gorthin, though.
As much as I'd like to not, to have more people that can use magic and stuff, I get the feeling that up against the dragon, it's just going to end up being food.
Yeah, but so would we, I feel like.
Sorry, I just dropped something. What'd you say?
I said I feel like we would be too. Whereas if we
Well, I
had
mean,
a
we've got this, we've got the better armor, we've got the speed and the mobility, which they don't have. If we can actually attack him from, if he comes after one of us, we can get out the way. Whereas Gorthan,
I might Arden might for about bows and stuff like that. See if they have anything or any cool
yeah, I
arrows.
mean, if they have any other axes,
Anything that
but
actually stands a chance against a dragon.
I mean, you've got a pretty fancy bow, if I recall.
Yeah, but it still is just like normal arrows.
True. But yeah, so I gotta finish reading this. I started reading the abilities, and then I started reading the description, and then I just kind of got stuck on the description. Ooh, heavy armor with no armor penalty. Oh yeah.
Mine is light, so I can still move and get extra a +10 to sneaking. So that's awesome for this mission.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be very much you sneaking around, taking pot shots while I just fucking fight him. Oh fuck me! I can fly, sort of. I can fall with style. Oh, I definitely want to jump. Oh, I definitely want to jump. So if you open up mine
Yeah.
and take a look at the bottom thing, the wings of flame, it's so much fun. Ooh, that initiative bonus on yours.
Insane. And I feel like that is directly because of the way you saved us both with the dragon.
So I mean,
Wait, where's the initiative bonus on mine?
Under the custom fit.
Oh shoot! Wow.
Yeah, your initiative's gonna be like fucking +15 or something now, isn't it? Or +18, isn't it?
Because it's already, what is it right now? My initiative is, that's
Speed and perception, yeah.
Yeah, so it's currently
Mine's 9, so you should get at least.
mine's 13.
Oh Jesus! So okay. So you're going first.
And what's fun about that is before we even roll initiative, I can do that firing the arrows while they're charging at us.
Assuming they're charging, but the way we should fight this is I should land on top of their heads.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean this. I meant like in future combat.
Oh yeah, no. In general, it's gonna be fucking ridiculous. And
See,
that extra attack action.
What I was trying to figure out is if there was any way to reason with the dragon and come to terms with him, but guess not.
I mean, maybe, but
I'm back now.
We might be able to reason with the dragon, but I get the feeling no, and also don't want to really risk kind of a, hey buddy, how you? Oh god, he's trying to eat my face.
Right. Oh, Dean, we were asking we were gonna ask about weapons stuff to help us fight the dragon. So if they had any special arrows or stuff like that.
Not.
If they just had better axes. Right now I'm using a steel axe and my Valkyr hander.
Okay.
I have regular arrows.
In terms of weaponry, the weaponry is going to be pretty much the standard of what you've got for what they're willing to give away. They've just given you 2 priceless pieces of equipment.
Oh no!
So
I'm not trying to be like greedy.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, they've given you some really so they're probably going to be they're going to want a collateral. Do you know what I mean on their down payment here? Like you're going to have to do something first and to give you anything else. Like because you could literally buy a small castle with the armor you're wearing at the moment.
Yeah.
So
we're very happy.
So as far as collateral, what do I don't think I actually have anything.
Oh wait, do we need collateral right now?
They're not going to get no. I mean, they're going to want you to do the task first before they give you anything else.
Yeah,
Oh,
no. I mean, like, I'm not gonna like push it if it doesn't seem like there's like, just a handful of mithril axes lying around. Then I'm just gonna, I'm more than ready to go fighting with this.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask for information if they know of, just from. Wait, so are we fully aware of all the abilities of our armor, or is it just something we're gonna have to figure out?
I would say you're aware because that'll be explained to you. It's almost like somebody equipping Batman. You know what I mean? So they'll say, yeah, if you pull this lever, this will happen. If you do, yeah, that sort of thing.
So it's just like, because I definitely want to see if we can't find a spot to get drop on him, quite literally, for my Wings of the Dragon ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I would talk with the Dweorh about if they know of any areas where we could potentially set up an ambush to drop on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arden could stay up high and just keep shooting at him while I fucking axe him in the face.
Okay. Well, whenever you're ready, Gar does say we will take you to the gateway leading down if you're quite ready. I'm assuming the boy isn't going with you.
Should we ask first if they know of any ways to kill a dragon? Because I don't know if we actually know how to kill one.
Fucking go it till stab it till it's dead, I guess.
Yeah,
I didn't know if they have any weak points or things like that.
She shrugs and who are you asking? You're asking Gar.
Sure.
He shrugs and says, you may look to crush it or I doubt simply hitting it with your sword will do a good job. You need to find something bigger. There are sharp objects in there that you can probably lure him towards, perhaps. From what we remember.
So, Arden's gonna turn to Androkles, so maybe we try to almost bury him in the mountain.
We don't want to collapse too many of the tunnels, but we can drop some pillars and such on him. We should definitely try for that.
Yeah. Gar nods and says, head to the surface. If you do that, that'll be sure to draw him out. Get to the heart of the mountain and head up.
Alright. Well, and I will ask them if they know if there's a good point to, like, literally get the drop on him.
They literally they've not been down there in centuries.
Yeah.
Because they can't go anywhere near it, so...
Okay, so yeah, we'll find it when we're there. And I guess, I turn towards Orthan and say, and just kind of, and head towards Leander and just, like kind of nod, like, take care of him if anything happens.
He nods.
And Arden is letting Leander hang on to the winter cloak because she doesn't need any of that in her new armor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up to Leander and just kind of take, since I don't need my my Kale nasal helm anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will take my helm and put it on his head and say, I'll be back soon to teach you how to protect your head with this.
He nods. He's
just don't go headbutting things. It doesn't really work like that.
He's a lot less enthused about it now.
And I'm just gonna kind of laugh and pat him on the back and kind of like one of those sort of hard pats that push him towards Orthan.
Okay. Cool. So, one of the Dweorh says, "Come on, lad. I'll teach you how to do ring mail." And as a few of the other honor guards, I say honor guards, are basically Dweorh stripped to the waist smiths, and that they take you down towards the rear of the actual city. And before you know it, you're at this rather large door, which has a very similar outlook to the last one. But this one literally has it's quite hard to disseminate that it doesn't look like a cross, In all cultures it's the same, it looks like a do not enter sign.
Yeah.
And they literally tap it 3 times, and it falls away into dust. And beyond it is pitch darkness.
Do we have any torches we can use?
I don't know, do you?
Can we ask?
I think. Do I have any torches? I don't think we've gone spelunking really.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think? Can we ask the dwarves for it?
Mm-hmm. They certainly give you.
They said you said they had those floaty lights behind them, right?
They do. They give you their candles. So they have several candles that you can use. They can be behind you. You don't need to hold them. They'll just follow you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
we
want
will.
to set one out in front of us, though.
Well, if the problem with setting one out in front is it gives you night blindness in the dark cave. So if you're like staring into a light
I
at
just
night,
meant
you
you
can't
could
see.
see where we were going.
Yeah, but if it's behind us and above us, it can light our path without blinding us, so to speak. It makes it harder for people in front of us to see us, but it makes it easier for us to see them.
All right. So heading down into the dark.
It's not like it's a hooded lantern, because that's why they make hooded lanterns, so that it doesn't reflect light back to your face. It just points light forward.
Okay.
And we're going. Ooh, fancy.
Oh.
Hold on.
Unless you don't want to go down there right now, you don't need to.
I mean, we definitely want to go down there.
Okay.
And just be sure shit does.
So you descend for quite a long time down into the mountain. It's very cold down here, extremely cold, and you can't see more than 4 to 5 feet in front of you. If you the second you feel like you want more light, the candles burn brighter, and so you can see about 10-15 feet in front of you. Draw yourselves on. I know Androkles you already have, so Arden, if you want to draw yourself on. There you go. On
Near the bottom right. Oh, yeah.
Yep. And you're both nice, cool. So in front of you, you can see what looks like an alcove room heading into 2 areas. On the walls you see all different murals depicting, mostly depicting the fall of Frynir and how he was killed.
So, it's and the story we know. So, do either of these directions seem to be going lower, deeper, higher up?
They're both going lower and deeper.
Okay. Is there a breeze coming from either of them?
No.
The Gandalf method.
Yeah.
Always follow your nose.
Does one smell like, a murder dragon?
No, funny enough. Not that I would know that one of those smells like.
By the way, Dean, it's not letting me move my dot, so I might need your help with that.
Yeah, so I think I'd just start off going straight ahead. It's kind of what would be kind of an Androkles thing to do, just going straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I have my axes at this point. I'm ready for a fight. Ooh.
So in each of these alcoves, you can see statues of what look like Dweorh kings. These are all people standing up, and so you see all portraits of different kings. You can make out the name of Frydmar because you've heard that name before, and he looks very forlorn. And when there's no kings, there is a dwarven hero, a Dweorh hero. On this one here, you see a rather tall, handsome, muscle-bound humanoid with a large sword, and he's in full plate armor, and he's slamming the sword down into the ground, but he's looking down at a dragon's head that he has in his hands. He looks very sad.
Does it look like it's Cassandra?
It does have the name Cassandra underneath it.
And yeah, he probably is. But so yeah, we're continuing on. Is there anything in this in the alcove in the bottom left there?
No.
Okay, so we're headed up, I guess.
And it doesn't seem like anything's booby trapped or anything, right?
Not yet. I mean, I'm only saying not yet because you're expecting stuff to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you are adventurers. You're down here. You know.
Well, given our last time exploring caves, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of standing in front, but letting Arden kind of direct me, because she's got the sharper eye, and I'm more looking for the more obvious dangers while she keeps an eye out for the less obvious.
So now that we're here, in the middle of three ways, can we detect any difference between them and idea of which way?
Okay. On the left-hand side, you see a chest on the floor. On the right-hand side, there is a closed door. And right in front of you, there's another room with many alcoves that you can see spreading out.
We should definitely check out that chest.
It's definitely trapped.
Can I roll a perception check?
Cool. Go for it.
I'm gonna be kind of at the entrance to the corner and be ready to pull her back if something goes wrong.
You can open it, and it doesn't seem trapped. So,
What's in there?
rusted old pieces of armor. Nothing much of note at all. As you rummage around.
I think we should check out what's behind the door.
Okay.
Okay. Once again, I'm gonna stand at the alcove ready to pull Arden back if something goes wrong.
And another perception check?
Yep, go for it. So the door seems like another brass door. It has what looks like a tentacled face on it.
Oh.
And a spear.
That looks familiar to me.
And a spear going through the face. Yeah, it just seems like one of the doors you saw upstairs.
So, should we open it?
Yeah, I mean, if it seems safe.
Seems safe.
Do it.
It doesn't budge.
Not even if we try picking the lock or something?
There is no lock. It's just a solid slab of...
And Androkles will try to push it open himself.
Go with a might check if you want to try and do that. That's fine. Yep, very good roll. And you're feeling that this should be coming at least apart or swinging around or something. It doesn't move at all.
Guess we'll have to come back to that then.
Yeah. And we're continuing on.
Okay. So, there is a door at the top of this room that looks closed. That looks like it's basically just here. So if you look at just here. And as you're walking, you see alcoves with different statues of Dweorh warriors standing nearby. And over each, or under each, there is a phrase. And as you talk to each other walking past, the eyes of the statues light up, and then as you stop talking, they go down again.
Is there one that who's... I'm gonna go to start at the... Is there any particular difference between them?
Not particularly, no.
Are there any runes for any kind of order for them, like there were with the stuff in the Bowery?
There isn't actually any runes for the order, no.
Okay. Well, I'd start from the beginning, and I'm just gonna look at the words at the bottom and start to Arden and say, well, I guess or I'm just gonna look at her gesture toward the words and then try to sound out the words.
Those are the words you can read.
Oh. I'm going to continue reading along.
Mountains will crumble to it, and temples fall, and no man can survive its endless call.
Is that for all of them, or is that just on that first one?
That's just on the first one. So that's on the one that is here.
So what happens after that's read aloud?
After that's read loud, the eyes of the statue glow blue. And then white.
Does it move?
No.
Continue along, and I'll see if there's if there's any kind of order that makes sense with reading them.
Okay.
If not, I'll just kind of read them as they go.
So the next one reads: power enough to smash ships and crush roofs, yet it still must fear the sun. What is it?
Smash ships and crush roofs and still fear the sun.
Next one. Like the bones of the world, they rise into the sky, veiled in white, like a bride greeting her groom.
Clouds.
No.
Okay, so do you say that in front of this? Yeah. Okay.
I'll
So
say snow.
so the eyes of the statue grow white and then red as the statue clinks into life. Its joints, dust fall from its joints as it steps forward off the pedestal, and it immediately takes a swing at you, Arden. It immediately tries to take your head off.
Say snow again. Quickly, Arden will try to dodge out of the way.
Let's roll initiative.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just want to check something real quick.
+4, so only 22.
14 plus.
Okay, and mine is.
Oh!
I think mine is still just at 9.
These aren't all awake, by the way, so don't worry, I'm just putting them in.
Yeah.
And the awake one in like red or something, just so we know. Or outline the colors and what color their eyes are glowing.
I'm not doing that for everyone. I'll,
No, I mean just like the outline at the bottom. Yeah.
Alright. So, Arden, you dive out the way of this thing. Where do you want to dive to?
This way. And
Mm-hmm.
after hearing Androkles say snow, she's gonna keep saying snow.
Nothing happens. It readies its axe of stone.
There's no point in shooting arrows at it because it can't move. So, she's gonna
I mean,
pull
it's
out.
definitely moving. It's definitely moving.
It's coming towards you.
No, I know. No, I'm saying there's no point shooting arrows at it because I don't think, because if it's made of stone, it can't be shot. So she's gonna pull out her sword but keep backing up.
Okay.
And then, she'll try to, oh, shoot. No, you know what? She's gonna hit it with a bow. I'm sorry. She actually is gonna get it out and just try it and
Okay.
see what happens.
Oh, nice. Another one? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, your 3 arrows slam into it and it staggers backwards. And it starts coming in again, but its face is now just basically off. There's no dwarven face on there anymore. And it got to 22, so it's going to take a swing at both of you. This will hit both. That's a miss. So it just clangs into this statue here, and just lodges there.
Okay. I mean, the part that's throwing me is like I think it's time, but the part that's throwing me is it still must fear the sun. Oh.
No, they're two separate riddles.
No, there's not. I can tell you that now.
Darkness? Or night. The night.
Nope.
No?
It keeps coming.
Oh. Yeah. Shit. Is there... I'm gonna try to, like, push it back and see if I can, like, beat it back with my axe to see if I can read what's on these two.
Okay, go for it.
So,
Oh, this one is time.
So I need you to roll to beat back the thing. I can't.
Yeah.
I need input. Okay.
That's the 6 attacks.
Okay,
And
those are
that's
not
what
great.
Plus 7.
Yeah, those are not great. It's going to be staggered back to here, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And if you're not attacking it, we're going to need to roll for another initiative.
I mean, so that was me like beating it back with my axes. So those were plus 8 for my attacks.
Yeah, it's still going. You're hitting it, but it's not.
So that would be all 3 attack actions.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the end of my turn.
Okay, so let's go with. Oh, so you only got 8. Okay, so Arden, you're going first.
She's gonna aim for the eyes with these arrows.
Cool. Alright, yeah, so finally the damage is too much, its head crumbles off, and its arms slam down with the axe, and it crumbles down into nothingness on the floor. And this pedestal now turns from red to blue.
Well, that's one way of dealing with them, I suppose. And I'm gonna go up to these 2 and look at their
Can Arden stand in front of this one and say time?
It goes from red to blue. So
I guess
just to go over that. So that was mountains will crumble to it and temples fall, and no man can survive its endless call. You said time.
I fucking love riddles.
It goes blue. So the next one is power enough to smash. Oh no, we've already done that one. The next one is like the bones of the world, they rise into the sky, veiled in white like a bride greeting her groom. Don't say anything yet because you wanted to know the stuff for the others.
No, that was the one that I answered cloud.
You just
they're mountains. The bones of the world are mountains.
you just said cloud.
No.
Mountains.
No, Dean, I wasn't saying that now. I was saying last time when I said it.
Oh,
When I said it. I was saying it for that.
And oh right, were you?
I was saying it for that riddle.
Okay.
Definitely mountains.
So what do you want to do?
So, no, in front of, which is the one that says power enough to smash ships? Where is that?
That's gone. You said the wrong thing there. It died.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that. Okay.
This one, yeah, but I was looking at these 2 before. Sorry, Dean. I thought that they were all. I thought they were all one riddle. That's what I was confused about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they're each different. What are these 2?
So, are you going to try and answer this one?
Not yet.
Mountains. Or that's the bones of the world, right?
Cool. Yeah. So that one goes blue. So, the last 2 at the top. Sorry, the actual statues themselves. There are spoken words that occur once you solve the riddle. So, for the ice and for the mountains, so we got power enough to smash ships and crush roofs.
Yeah,
Yet still must fear the sun. What is it? You answered the wrong, and it came and tried to kill you. But as soon as it dies, you hear the words, "Yes, the foul broken protects our hold and safeguards the peaceful Jotun." Okay, and the next one. What was the next one you answered? It was mountains, was it?
We answered time.
Time. So mountains will crumble to it and temples fall, and no man can survive its endless call. The answer is time. It goes blue, and it says, "Yes, the Dweorh do not fear time as other races do. Our curse to bear and our blessing to hoard." And the next one was the mountains, like the bones of the world, they rise into the sky, veiled in white like a bride greeting her groom. You said the mountains, and the answer is yes, our home and our hearth fire. The Jotun led us here in ages past to live with them in peace, creating wonders and creating our realm glaives, so that we need never fear the tyranny of the gods. Okay, and the one on the left says this below it. Be very careful. Don't just blurt out the first thing that.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
Androkles is going to put a finger up to Arden's mouth as he reads it, so that she doesn't say anything.
What is this? The other one?
And the one on the right is this.
Oh, sorry.
Is there anything to scratch something down on the floor with?
Sure. So,
Okay.
so there is. So the first one says, I'll just read it out. Not at all necessary, but a mark of character. Costs nothing, and is the sign of true nobility. That's the one on the left. And on the right, She wields the broken sword and separates true kings from tyrants.
So Arden's gonna grab like a small piece of stone and try to write on the ground so Androkles can read it for the one on the right. Right.
Well, if you just say the word...
Oh, she's gonna write Lady of the Lake. Because she doesn't know if it refers to Arthur.
I don't think Androkles knows about the Lady of the Lake so much. I mean, he'd know about Arthur, but he wouldn't know the specifics.
Yeah,
so
exactly, yeah.
I don't think he knows who Lady of the Lake is.
He just looks at you like blank.
But he's going to point to this one and then to the one on the left, the not all necessarily the mark of kindness, and he's going to write kindness on the ground with a question mark.
So it could be any virtue, really. Arden's just gonna kind of nod, like, go for it, because worst comes to worst, we just try to shoot out his eyes.
Okay. Well, Androkles is going to stand before it and with his axes ready and say kindness.
It goes blue.
He's going to thumbs up and then...
And then it says... yes, Grundy, the doormaker, closed the way to gods and men alike, and was famed for his love of proper etiquette. Treat others with the respect you wish returned to you.
Andrew is going to turn towards the last one, and like he doesn't know what this the light nonsense is, but he's going to kind of write down on the ground. He's going to add down justice. Question mark.
Arden's gonna nod because, wow, I would not have gotten these last two at all. Nice job.
Androkles likes puzzles. He's gonna have his axes ready again and say justice.
It steps forward off the plinth.
Androkles is actually gonna say damn it, and just
let's roll initiative.
I wonder if do I need to roll? Since mine.
I don't think anyone can beat you.
Yeah.
Even if you roll a 1, that's a 24.
Just roll it. Give yourself a nice ego boost every time.
Roll the 1.
Oh, look at that! I think I'm going first.
Okay.
I can beat you if I roll above a 15.
Arden is gonna try to shoot out its eyes again because that worked last time.
Cool. Nice. Nice. So 3 arrows slam into it, but it does come forward still. But Androkles, you will get your turn first. Okay. So the natural 20 and the 16 are enough to break its head apart, and finally it just slams backwards against the wall, against the doorway here, into the alcove, and goes. And again, it repeats. The right, it goes blue, and the right answer says, mercy. It says, yes, mercy was sought by those who fought the gods, but it was not granted. Now our mountains are our graves, and our world scorched by the storms of the gods' dying vengeance. What have we done? Question mark. So mercy was the last one, and the door at the end of the alcove.
I'm going to turn towards Arden's like the broken sword.
The door at the end of the alcove shudders upwards. Rock grinding against rock.
I guess we go forward.
And in here, this looks like what looks like a workshop. So it looks like a forge was here at one stage. Very nice place. Very advanced, beyond anything that you've seen before. Everything here is rusted away and cold and dead and gone. But what you do find are several chests laid around, most of them broken. What would you like to do?
Check them out.
We need to find those instructions.
Okay, perception.
You have 21s.
There you go. So, as you're sifting through, you don't find any plans to a rift engine, but you do find plans to siege works.
They're
probably
not like
wanna
bulky,
carry a
right?
lot
They're
when
something we
we're
can just
finding a
tuck in
dragon.
to our armor, right? Or are they?
Hello, sorry about that.
You're good.
Let's get disconnected.
We were asking if the plants are bulky.
That's something we could.
There you go. Sorry about that. My things got disconnected there for a sec. So, carry on. What were you saying? No, they're basically rolled up parchment, so you can essentially just whack them in if you want to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's more parchment, so it's not going to crumple up or anything. It's actually quite sturdy. No. Everything else, basically, I'm telling you what you've been able to salvage, what you've been able to find. Yeah, this stuff, it seems like it seems very advanced, but it also seems very IKEA. It seems like stuff that if you could get Dweorh help, you could build this stuff. Like you're getting a definite sense of like, this would be stuff that has been seen in 100 or so years. You know, so. Alright. Come on. So here, you can see there is. Let me just have a little look here. So, there is a plinth with a stone on it, and it seems to be a dark blue stone. It seems to be glowering slightly. And Arden, you're standing close to it. Roll a perception check for me. Okay. So, you actually feel the need, the want, to actually pick this thing up. You're not getting a single nefarious. It's more like a hello? Hello? Right, as soon as you pick it up, almost like a beam projection of a Dweorh is put in front of you, but he seems quite effeminate. I'm not saying effeminate, he just doesn't have a really. He's effeminate for a Dweorh, but for a normal person, he'd be quite gruff. Got a beard. And he says, hello? Says, what year is it? It's 888. He just says 808. Right, that's how we're counting time. Who are you? Why is it dark in here? Where's the light? But his shoulders just slump. Says, how goes the war? He's like, that's a very flowery name, I suppose. That's the one. Oh. He says, right. Oh. And that happened how many years ago, you said? AD, yeah. After Dragomachy, yeah. his shoulders slump further, and he says, "But they're all gone." He says, he shakes his head and says, "I'm Ostry. Thanks for letting me out, I suppose. Me and my brothers retreated into these when the gods were on their way. Yeah, projection, yeah. I was a smith. Well, one of the best. Like my brothers. There's 4 of us. There were jokes that we were holding up the world, but in truth, we were just holding up the roof of Eredrin. We designed the pillars, you see." And he says, "Yeah, when the judges left Albion to go and take on the gods in Valhalla, the gods instead came here looking for them, and we were left holding the bag, so to speak. And so me and my brothers, well," he turns around and he can't see any other plinths. He says, "Yeah, I guess they opted out." He nods and says, "Yeah, deep. We're sorry, I'm not used to seeing it like this." As he's looking around, and it's just dark and moss-ridden and dripping. Alright, I don't know what any of that means, but I would ask you to go with you if that would be okay. Don't leave me here. Good. I think so. I think I remember. As you grab the stone, he says, "Oh, your hands are a bit more rough. Oof. Oof. If you don't mind giving me back." Ah, there we go. He says, "1 second." Closes his eyes. Says, "Nope. As soon as she thinks she wants me, I'll be here. If she doesn't, well, I'll make myself scarce. But I can always see what's going on through the stone." Don't put me in a bag. That'll do. But you aren't as well endowed as my second wife, or you could have used me in your chest and we'd have been fine. You'd have been free to not have your arms all the way around and all. He says, "No, I suppose she died a long time ago. Hope she didn't think I left her." He just shrugs and says, "Do you know, I don't actually know. No one I knew had died in my lifetime, but we don't breed very often." He nods and says, Maybe. But if you can get to the mountain top, I can at least see the sun for a bit." That would be great. "Oh yeah, if you want to get down there, that's fine." He said, he looks around. He says, "Do you mind lifting your arm up for a bit?" He says, "Down here." There shouldn't be. I designed this room. Not so much booby traps. I mean, there are shockingly easy riddles to solve around the corner. I did tell him that anyone who wasn't dumb would get him in a split second, to be honest with you. But, they will go off if you answer them incorrectly, but, fat chance of that. But apart from that, no. Cool. So these alcoves, again, they're smithing stations. So they don't have much in them. They're just rotted away, and Ostry looks pretty down. He doesn't look happy at all being around here. Yeah, he just goes, "Thanks for that." He's a Dweorh, yeah. He goes, "Oh yeah, the plans for that are in the central chamber. Yeah, come on, I'll show you." He makes to walk away, and he sort of starts fading away as he gets further away from you. He goes, and then walks back to you. Well, you walk that way, and I'll tell you when to stop. Right. Hang a right here. And it's actually all crumbled in, and it looks like there's a doorway there, but he says, no, not that way. That takes you further into the mountain. We want to go this way first. Right. And on this door, there's looks at it and goes, right, you're only a Dweorh can open this, but you're in luck. He walks over and touches it, and the door falls away into dust. He turns around and bows extravagantly. So, in this room, there's another door here, and he says, that's new. You can try, he says. You can try. It looks like it's going to be... Yeah, who tries to open it? Cool. So, nothing happens. And then a little porthole opens in the door, out of which a gauntleted hand comes out. He gives you the middle finger, and then closes the door again, closes the little alcove again. And then Ostry goes, Well, you don't see that every day. No answer. The door immediately opens and swings open. There's no one in there. But there is, on a plinth, in the centre of the room. No. There is, on the plinth, a immaculate scroll of parchment that is sealed with violet wax. And on the front of it, you see a sword piercing the head of a creature that has tentacles in its face. He says that those are the plans, all right. I didn't know what that door was, or where the glove's gone. It looks fine. It looks fine. Yeah, as you pick her up, nothing happens. And Ostry turns to you, Arden, and goes, "Is you always such a big baby?" Okay. So Ostry says, not to speed things along, but rather than talking about things I don't know anything about, maybe we could get to the heart of the mountain and get out of here. It was the way your friend here was going to go down before. This first I've heard of a dragon. Oh. It's somewhere gnawing at the center of the mountain, yes. He says, he shrugs and says, Dweorh architecture's not really meant for archers, if you catch my drift. Maybe if we get to the surface. That's alright. I can lead you to the an elevator I know can get us up there. So there is a doorway here. It is huge. It is around 70 foot wide. And on the floor is an inscription in Dweorh speak. And he once again, Ostry says, that's new. And the inscription reads this. And he says, yeah, definitely new. Maybe you lost their wings in the meantime. And around the doorway you can see claw marks. Gargantuan claw marks. I wouldn't say it's a riddle, lad. I'd say it's more of a warning. Alright, if you do happen to die, try and make sure you roll me away. So, you head into the darkness. Down, further down. This is even darker down here. You can literally see the light from the candles hardly do anything for your vision. And somewhere down here you can hear a massive presence moving. Cool. So Ostry says, right, we want to avoid the left-hand passage. We want to go straight down to the front. And he presses the door and it falls away into dust again. And he says, right, straight through. And to the right. Yeah, the right. That's it. Follow him, lass. He seems to know where he's going. He's got to stick pretty close to her. goes right. I think it's to the left. Hang a left. Keep going, don't be shy. Nice. Here it is. And he says, here. Here it is. You can get on that. Hi, can you hear me there? Yeah? Cool. Awesome. So, he says, yeah. Now, 1 second. Let me have a little whiz around here. And he just puts his hands on the floor, and the floor lights up in the room for up. And with a almighty groan, the elevator starts rising. Slowly at first, but then very, very, very quickly. And as you look over the side, Arden, you can see there's no mechanics underneath this. There's just a glowing, flowing light pushing you upwards. And Ostry goes, off we go! And you start rising. There's no side. There's no side. So, above you, you can see light streaming in through the actual roof of the cavern. Until finally, the elevator starts to slow down. And he goes, don't worry, this is just so we don't smash through the top of it. I'm just slowing it down a little bit. Finally, it stops suddenly. And you'll need to roll a check. Roll a speed check. Okay. You both stay on your feet, but you're shaken slightly. And at first you don't notice anything wrong, except that the platform is tipped on its side to the right. And you see a huge scaled, clawed talon smashed into the rock. And Ostry says, oh, that can't be fucking good. And then out of the darkness, you can actually see a face glaring at you. He's at level with you. So everyone needs to roll initiative. Oh dear, dear, dear. I can give my wife every advantage, and she will still manage to. That's with a plus 12. You will both be going first because he's on 20. Okay. You do. It's baleful eye. Draw yourselves on here, thank you. Okay. Nice. Cool. Please put yourself on the thing before you do so. That size is fine. I can do it for you. Yeah, you go to the left-hand side and click off what you're doing. And click on the cursor at the top. Cool. Alright, so the arrows slam home into its face. A few of them do, and a few of them find their mark. And it actually rolls in rage and lances the entire place here with fire. But I'm going to let Androkles do something before it does that, as it's breathing in. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Mm-hmm. Seven? Cool. Yeah, so it doesn't close his mouth. I'm going to let you do an initiative roll to see if you can jump out of the way of what's about to happen. Okay, yeah, so you dive to the side out of the way, and each of you are going to have to do one more initiative check as this fire barrels down onto the side of the onto the elevator. Okay, cool. So Arden, you roll out the way, and Androkles, you also roll out the way. So around you at this point, the dragon's actually glowering at you, but he's not doing too much. But from above, several Draugr hammer down into the onto the elevator. And they will roll initiative. +4, 20. Roll initiative, please. Mm-hmm. Okay. The arm of the dragon is now removed and disappears into the darkness, but you can hear it go all the way along the walls, like it's crawling around. Yes. So, 1, 2, 3 are dead. 3 good rolls. Alright. Draugr will charge up. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, you're going to go first, but... Yeah. 1 sec. There you go. Arden, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Copy. More slam down. And a few of them burst through the wall on one side and start like piling onto the side of this and they actually start to turn the actual platform. And you are a couple of thousand feet up in the air at this point. If this thing turns over, it's starting to go. These need to be removed yesterday. And more are piling on. It's sort of like World War Z, when there's like a mountain of bodies just slamming into it. Yeah. Cool. You are actually on an elevated position now, because of the way that it's actually facing. A few more are falling on. Cool. Alright. They rolled a 20. What did you... 22, sorry. What did you get, Androkles? $13. Alright, so they're going to come piling forwards. Not all of them will get to attack, because they're out of range. Alright. That's 4 attacks. Ooh, not great. Okay, so they are going to do, after your armor... Where is your armor now? 15. They will do 4 points of aggravated damage. But that is their turn. Their turn is now over. It's moving around in the darkness. It's basically jumping around and climbing around. Mm-hmm. Start swinging. Mm-hmm. Go for it. Oh, shit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dead. So the 4 around you. You hack into little bits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she probably has more than you at this point. Yeah. So, Arden, what would you like to do? Okay. I'm gonna tell you now, because you'll be able to gauge this. You have 3 combat turns until this platform turns over, and if it does, there'll be probably no saving you from this height, even with the ability of Androkles' armor and his abilities. Probably, yeah, it's going to take a hell of a roll to survive that fall from Androkles. So, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead. Bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see behind the Draugr now. This seems to be the last of the actual tumult. There's like a tumor that's burst, and this seems to be the last of them. Oops. Delete. This seems to be the last of them. We now have 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. No, you're going... No, we'll go at the same time. We need to roll off. D20. Yep, you're going first. 2 rounds. Can we get rid of them all? Mm-hmm. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the arrows fling out. Oops. And, yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Who's next? Gonna go and ask them a question? Or 2? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 7. Alright, you got 3 to kill. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Alright, all 3. Cleave down. The elevator starts moving up again. And it starts to right itself. And you start hearing a below you. And Androkles, you're near the side. You do look over the side and you do see it chasing you like this. Trying to grab the bottom of it. Until finally, Ostri comes up and says, I'm going to level with you, lass, to Arden. Says, I can either slow us down so you can fight the thing, or I can speed us up to get us out of here quicker, but we might be hitting the top of the roof here. He's going to catch us if we keep going this way. No, if he keep doing this, he's going to catch us. You can certainly try, yeah. You need to roll a speed check before you do every volley. That's fine. So you can do a full attack roll. Nice. So yeah, it's infuriated. It's not speeding up as these go slamming into it. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that, yeah, you could certainly try and save her as well. It just means that your roll needs to be bloody good to save both of you. That's an incredibly risky thing to do. You would need a very good roll to survive that. At this height. You definitely could do that, yeah. Just bear in mind, you're travelling towards the most dangerous part of the dragon. Hmm. Okay, go for it. That's what you want to do. Alright. I guess we know what you need to do. Alright, so we're going to be rolling a... Do a might. This is a mighty thing to do. Do a might check for me. Go ahead and you can re-roll that if you wish, or you can keep it. Holy shit! Okay, so, Arden, as you're firing into this dragon and it's really pissed off. The actual it hasn't completely the lift hasn't completely righted itself yet, so you're firing almost directly down on him. And you feel like a slight tug on your shoulder, and you're like, oh, bloody hell, it's another Draga. You turn around, and it's Androkles' foot. And he just ran towards you and sprung off of you. Down into the darkness. And Androkles, what are you doing here? What's happening? Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah. But with different results, I'm guessing. Yeah, so... So it goes to snap at you, and you actually bounce off of its nose, and your shoulder is burnt by one of its nostrils, but you go careening down its back. And with that might check, you slam your axes into its back and go raking down it, and it howls in anger and agony. And Arden, you hear behind you, Oshri goes, right, coming up now, cover your ears, lass, this is going to be rough. You go slamming through the roof of the actual chamber, and Androkles and the dragon are below you, and they go screaming off into the sky. But the dragon has no wings, so it lands on the ground with a deafening crunch on all fours, and it roars to the sky as Androkles, you are in midair, and you realise you can just about reach an outcropping of rock to stop yourself probably falling to your death from a couple of 1,000 feet up. Or you could probably take a risk and try and use what the dwarves have given you in your armor to have a go at this thing or whatever, but... Okay. Okay. So, no, because you were trying to hold on for dear life, basically. So, yeah. Okay. So, let's roll initiative. It's plus 14 for me. Okay. All right. So, Androkles, I'm afraid with that roll, you can't stop yourself from falling. You know what I mean? But you know you're not ready to. You're not in the right position in your body to do a slam like that. So you're gonna have to hold on to the outcropping of rock for a second, so you can get yourself ready to do it. Yeah. So you see, hold on to the outcropping of rock. Arden, you are going first. It has not seen you. It is looking up to where Androkles is and roaring at him. Yeah. Roll a perception check for me, actually. See if you can see that. It's missing a great many scales at this moment in time. Okay. So you can see there's some weak spots on its back, where the scale's been ripped away, and you can almost see like molten lava moving beneath, but you can also see to its left-hand side, the dragon's left-hand side, there are several jagged outcroppings of rock. And if you can just imagine if the dragon falls on that, it's going to be over for it. It's going to just impale it. Nice. Go for it. Cool. Just so people can read it if they want to. So, nice. Yeah. So it slams into the dragon right into its weak spot, and it falls. It staggers backwards towards the jagged rocks, and it roars at you in sheer anger that you dared to do that, and it unleashes an ungodly amount of fire at you. Roll a speed check for me. Alright, that's nice. And it's going to also try and swipe at you. So, let's do an attack. Yeah. That's plus 13. So, it is going to deal to you 15 armor now, don't you? Cool. Nice. That is 12 points of aggravated damage. So, it rakes and slams you. And that's a really weak one as well. It just about touches you. It slams you into the rock. And you have... I'm guessing jumping out of the way of a torrent of dragonfire is blessing enough without being able to roll up and unleash 90,000 arrows on it. True. Well, it's at my discretion now, and if there's a wall of fire, I'm already letting you roll out the way of it. So. Also, the claw's about what, 25 foot wide. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you dodge one thing, you're very rarely... She's trying to get back up again as the claw's coming in. She still managed to get away with it, which is good. But, yeah. Yeah, you do. I'm not just going to say no and just leave it. You know, I'm going to explain. I'm not going to be a dick. So it's now coming towards you. And where you've dived, Arden, you're actually in a little alcove of rock, and it's trying to scrape around you. But it's very near the jagged rocks as well. Androkles, it's now your turn. Yeah, if you want to. You don't need to. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's copy and paste that into the... It is about 1,000 feet. Nope. Nope. No. Yeah, you're gonna try and nudge it towards... Do me a favor and roll a might check for me. You may choose to reroll that if you wish. Okay. So you jump off and you fall towards this dragon, and you can feel the wings spurt from the back of your armor. And at the moment of your exaltation, you sort of turn over in midair and lose control of yourself. You go slamming into the dragon. Ooh, did you save it from last session? You did, didn't you? Okay, cool. Let's rewind. Back to you when you're on the top of the thing. Convert that into a natural 20, and you jump off. You leap off of this rock, Assassin's Creed style, and you feel the wings sprout from your back. And this time, you right yourself in midair. You go slamming straight into the side of this dragon. Please roll your damage. So be 3, 6, 9, 12, 30 d20 of aggravated damage. There's a lot of ones in there. There's a lot of ones. Yeah. So that is an ungodly amount of damage caused to the ribs of this creature. It slams backwards right into the jagged rock, and it howls in pain as it's impaled on this rock, and it rips itself free and starts to stagger around. Would you like to try and jump off? As in, would you like to try and stay on it, where it might land on you if it falls, or would you want to jump off, or do you want to jump off and hit it on the way down? Cool. So, cool. Roll a mic check for me. Cool. So I'm going to allow you to sprint at the head and do that if you wish, because it's not expecting you to do that. But that's a good enough roll. So you sprint towards the front of the beast and you jump off it, and you slam your axes down across its face as you land on the floor, and it howls and rages up into the sky on both hind legs, and eventually you can see that all of a sudden the fire light inside of it just goes out, and its howls stop, and it falls and slams down into the ground with a crunch, and you are standing in between its open jaws, looking down its gullet as its last breath goes all over you. Yeah. It does. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's gonna be pretty big. I'm not gonna lie. You can definitely take a tooth. There's definitely more than. Okay, that's cool. So you both hack one clear. The funny thing is, when you hack them off, it takes a while with the axe to hack it off, and it's almost like do you know when you see people cutting into rocks with lava in them, it's like that, and you take it off, and yeah, it's very very hot, but it's sort of going away at the same time. Austria, yeah. He's like, yeah. He says that's something you don't see every day. Do you not do this often? You seem like you've taken a bit of a beating there, lass. He points to your chest. He nods. Mm-hmm. So, you guys make your way past the dragon's corpse across the mountains. You are, about maybe 15,000. No, a long way up. Let's just say that you're a long, long way up. And cool. That's fine. That's cool. So, you're walking out. It looks like a road, but do you know the tops of mountains where they come together? It looks like there's like a road of snow along that, even though no one's treaded this for ages. It's not an actual road, but it looks like you can actually walk along it. So you're walking along that, and there are what sounds like, or what feels like, motes of snow on the air. And I would like you to watch this video, because it's a song that is Icelandic. I did show it to Alana last night. Whack that on, put it on in low, if you can, behind. And so, and that you can actually hear behind you as you're walking along. And as you are walking along the mountaintop, you look to either side of you and you see this. So not great. But you actually hear Ostrid sort of take a breath. And he says, suppose I know where the giants went. Said, well, as I said, me and my brothers, we locked ourselves away when we knew the gods were coming here to kill the judges. The judges were already in Valhalla by that point. But the giants were left here, though. So that there's yeah, these are going on for as long as the mountains are, and obviously hardly anyone ever gets up this high. So, and Ostri just looks to you both and says, "Well, I suppose I don't know. At least someone saw them." He said, "If you're actually hearing this song as well on the wind," he says, "Don't be alarmed. Giants can do that. Wherever they're dead, they end up singing. At least in the mental reverberations. I don't like it. But, before you is the peak. Yeah. So you head on up there. I'd like you to do some checks, please. Let's get you going up there. Let's get some. So there would be might checks on the way up. So let's do some might checks. Are you going up there with him, Arden, or are you? Yeah, it's going to take a hell of a swing with your climbing gear to get up there. Androkles is already disappearing up there. He just cool. Ostri said, Cool. So Ostri turns to you, Arden, and says, don't worry. We'll talk to the giants for a bit. And when I say talk, I mean more listen. So off you go, Androkles. More than that. We're going to need a lot more than that. We need about 10, I think. Avoid wands. Yep, avoid wands, if at all possible. Okay. For that one, we're going to have to re-roll. See what we can do. Just the one. Okay. Eventually, it takes you about 4 or 5 hours, and you're shaking with effort as you get to the top of this peak. But you see, slammed into the very top of this peak with wind blowing in your face, you see a glinting, immaculate great axe slammed into the top of the peak. And in the pommel down here, in the eye of the dragon, you can see a gleaming red orb. Nothing much happens. You can see there's blood sloshing around in there, like magnesium in a in a thimble or something. Might check, please. Okay, you're gonna need another one. You're not under any time pressure though, so you can carry on. Yep, you pull it straight out this time, and as it comes out, it frosts over, like the entire blade and the haft frosts over, and frosts onto your arm, and then back down again. And if you place it in your other arm, it frosts over almost immediately in your marked one arm. Yeah. And I'm going to allow you, as long as you're using it in your left hand, I'm going to allow you to convert all of your lower axis points into great axis points. So as long as it's in your left hand, you can have it in your right hand as well, but as long as it's touching your left hand. No. Once you see the rules for this thing, you're going to be pretty much okay with. So let me just. So they've got breaker axe. It does have more rules than that, but I'll get them to you later on tomorrow. But as far as a powerful weapon goes, it's pretty hefty, yeah. You see Arden there, and you hear Ashri say, and that's the tale of Govi the Flatulent. Ah, never mind, lad. Never mind. Woman's got no sense of humour. Okay, well, we can skip the walking back. I hate it when RPGs do that. Yeah, now we're going to be walking back through the whole place. So Gar is there, and Leander runs over to you and goes, "Whoa!" and he's like looking at the axe, like, "What the?" Yeah, and sort of like goes all the way down it, and he's like, "Wow!" and he just, "That's amazing." And Gorthin goes, "Would be better if it was on fire." He says, he shakes his head and says, "Oh, that axe is yours." And he says, he stands up and shakes your hand, Arden. He goes to shake your hand anyway. And he shakes your hand, Androkles, and says, "Consider this a full alliance between the Dweorh and the Outlanders. We felt the dragons passing from here." He turns around and says, "Meat, mead, bring it in." And you spend the rest of the evening feasting with the Dweorh in the mountains, ready to go home and deliver some very, very good news. And that's where we'll end that session. So you now have a full. So the Dweorh, they've agreed to become full allies of the Outlanders. So they've agreed to mine the Feyerite and convert it into anything the Outlanders wish. Okay. They also offer to outfit the troops of the Outlanders exclusively, and offer to show Camelot soldiers through the passes, through the mountains, which is what you wanted last time as well. So basically, yeah, and you gave the king the plan, so he's going to make that for you as well. You have the Rift engine in there as well. So that's what happens. Yeah. That's what happens when you roleplay and you ask for things. You get cool things like that session. There you go. You could have died very easily on a few occasions there. Yeah, exactly. You at least would have taken. My idea was to take like a D6 vitality points away permanently, or let you die. Yeah, exactly. So Ah, that's good. That's nice. That's cool. And all of that, by the way, everything in that session is actual mythology. So even the name of the dragon, the way it moves, the way what it does to the dwarves, the giants, everything is all actual Norse mythology. It's all. Yeah, awesome. So we'll have more of that going forwards anyway. But it's the first time any of you like interacted with the gods or anything like that. So yeah, there will be more of that as we get towards the business end of the campaign. There'll be more and more of that going forwards. But for now, I'll let you all go because you've been here for a while. Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely gonna have Nameless being like, no, you didn't. So, dragon teeth. Well, you probably bought them. So, right. I'll speak to you guys later. I've got to get a shower. Have a good one. See you later. Bye. Oh, sorry. Love you, not David. No. I'll see you later. I'm only kidding. I'll see you later. Bye.